So, I'm going to be rebuilding the slipper clutch in my Stampede 4x4 today, so I'm having trouble with it slipping pretty bad, even though it's adjusted in as far as pretty much you'd want to have it adjusted. So, let's get started. First, we're going to start by taking out these two screws right here. Okay, got them two out. We're going to flip it over and pull out these two screws right here. Then you should be able to pull the whole back half of the truck right off. Just gotta wiggle it a little bit. Pop it right off. Set that off to the side. And we're gonna flip it over. Then you can see this spur gear slipper clutch assembly right here. You should be able to just pull this straight back out, just like that. Now, the pads on this slipper clutch look to be fine, but even though the pads look okay, in the spring I've only got this out maybe a quarter of a turn, maybe a half, and it still just it slips very easily. A lot easier than it should. So I have a feeling that the spring is actually the problem. The spring is probably weak. But I just got the whole rebuild kit, and I'm just going to rebuild the whole slipper clutch. So first we got to start by pulling off this end right here that goes into your dry shaft. Just loosen that screw up and that pops right off. Set that off to the side. We're going to slide this bearing out of the way. And then loosen this nut up here. Pull this stuff out. And then you can pull the spur gear with the slipper clutch pads attached to them right out. You can see these pads really don't look that bad. The disc is definitely, you can tell that's been slipping quite a bit. The disc appears that it might be worn down a little bit. Like I said, I'm just going to change this whole thing, so I'm going to pull these pads right off. Just throw those off to the side. This is what we're going to be using to rebuild it with. 5552X, which is a slipper clutch rebuild kit. Now it comes with instructions in here. There's two different springs that the kit comes with. Looks like one of the springs goes for the Slash, Stampede, Jado, and the Rustler. And then there's one for the Slash 4x4. The black one, which is the bigger, heavier one. Comes with a new disc. Just going to set that right in there. Then the pads. They just set right on the little dowels there and push them into place. This also comes with a new pin here that goes into your drive pin. It goes on the back right there. Slide that back up into place. When you put this disc back on here, you can see these little tabs right here. You need to line up with these little grooves right there in the disc. Then we can go ahead and slide this piece back on with our new pads. And next, this goes on next, if you're doing the Slash 4x4 Stampede. And then next comes the spring, which for the Slash 4x4 and the Stampede is going to be the thicker black spring that comes in the kit. See, there's also one that's a little smaller there. That's for the two-wheel drive vehicles. And then it also comes with a new nut. Usually I like to tighten this up all the way, as tight as it'll go. Then back it out about a half a turn, maybe a little less. Depends on how tight you want the slipper clutch to be. Then we can reinstall our bearing and the drive shaft yoke. And I'm going to put a little Loctite. You want to make sure you Loctite this screw, because if not, that'll definitely come loose and you'll lose your front wheel drive. Don't need to use too much, but you know, a good amount on there. And there it is, all rebuilt and basically just ready to put right back into the truck. So let's slide it right back in here. Now it's basically just reverse of what you did to take it out. You're going to slide it in. Make sure you line it up with your dry shaft when you go in there. And it just slides right back in. As you're sliding the back on, and maybe you're going to have to get up here and rotate your dry shaft a little bit to get it lined up with the rear axle there, with the rear pinion gear inside the differential. Sometimes it's a little harder than others. There. Just like that, and then you're going to install your 4 screws, and then you're all set, ready to go. So I hope this helps you out and shows you, gives you an idea on how to rebuild your slipper clutch and the parts that you need to do it. So, we'll talk to you again soon.